Right, safe everybody. It's safe. I managed to creep a shit in before the race. It was touch and go. King Kong's finger appeared. All's good. Otherwise it would have been a really rough couple of hours. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing, Season 29. And we're race 10 here in Baku. And the Div 1 drivers will be absolutely thankful that this track has appeared. Not potentially because of the track, but we're 99.9% guaranteed dry weather. They've had, I think it's the last 3 races, the wet qualifying, and we've got guaranteed dry. It's normally warm, it's normally hot in Baku. That hot, that I saw a chicken lay an omelette. We've got 20 drivers on the grid, which is absolutely fantastic as we are nearing the end of the season. It's not often we've had it in our own seasons, but in other leagues as well. So it's a brilliant credit to everybody involved. Good evening, everybody that's in the chat. Good evening, Keezer. Good evening, Terry's his secret stalker. Those you'll see in the Div 2 race following this one. For those that are unaware of Lights Out League Racing, we've got 2 divisions underway. Div 1 racing now, and in each division is split into 2 tiers. So we have the Platinum tier and the Elite Championship underway, so 10 drivers in each, of course, and then that applies in Div 2 as well. Now, what we've got here is a little bit of slipstreaming going on with the Haas boys. Good evening, Guna. As we keep an eye on Mr. Brutus Beer for a hot lap. He's got a car right up in his gearbox. He's going to have to pull out, but we'll jump on a hot lap with Mr. Brutus Beer as he goes round the tight 90-degree left-hander of turn 1. What usually is 3-car wide, but it's more like IndyCar than F1. Another 90-degree hander of turn 2. Open up that DRS. A slim chance of an overtake. It's not a long straight as you think. Come up to turn 4 where we've seen turn 3 where it's easy to turn in too early. Round right-hander of turn 4 where we've seen many risky overtakes happen. Just want to go wide and turn in as late as possible. Round the chicane at the end of sector 1. Want a good exit out of turn 6 as we approach a tricky right-hander of turn 7 where you don't want to cut the corner on the inside too much or you will invalidate. Look like Brutus try to pull out that early turn round the tricky castle section where it's tighter than a nun's vagina. Out of turn 12 where you want to go too wide, otherwise you risk of invalidating your lap. It's one of those tricky ones like Singapore if you go out of turn 14 where you go too wide and you invalidate. Risky jump over the curb of turn 15 for Brutus where he can just throw you into the wall. He managed to rotate his car around as much as possible. Slipstream off Catamese ahead of him. This is what I love. I'm touching myself like a 14-year-old girl. Slipstream's not that powerful, but it's very powerful on this sort of track. DRS is open, and Brutus will take the first pole position with a 39 flat. Let's see how that works out. Let's see if we see much team play in action. Luckiest in the Alpine goes a 39.3, so valuable 3/10 as Wainwright on his debut in the Aston, 38.7, 2/10 ahead of Gary Hannington. Amadi jumping ahead of both though, 38.4, so 3/10 on the new boys on their debut. Ted Head got himself his first elite win last week in Austria, looking to try and repeat that feat, but gets jumped ahead of his elite rival Jax Daniels at a 39.3. Setters in the Williams, cheered on by Terry's, I'm sure. Good evening, John. Big John's watching. We'll see what he can do in Div 2. Theo, P7. He's Mr. Sunday. I'm declaring him Mr. Sunday. His qualifying hasn't been that great over the last few weeks, but the races that he has finished, He's finished in a decent position. Chief of Fire and Labrat Dan. P11 and P will drop down. But both in situ on the track as Benji up to P5. Good lap there from the Div 2 boy. Always see this as his. He seems to be performing better in the Div 1 races than the Div 2 at the moment. But I suppose... I think it is a thing where... oh yes, Terry keeps reminding me. Everyone likes, comments, subscribe. Gives us good traction. Not that we need it. We're absolutely steaming. I've got one or two other drivers coming down the start finish as Callum will be fighting for that pole position. Crosses the line. P3 for Callum, so not the best first lap for him. As Sam is carrot. He's basically a snowman. That's all he can smell. Goes on his first run in the Sauber. Both Div 1 Sauber boys missing this week. I'm pretty sure Benji's come over his lap. Clen, P15 on his first run out. AJ on his first run in Div 1 as a full-time driver. P6. And I think he'll be reasonably happy with that. Ahead of some of the big boys. So we keep an eye on Portuguese then. And he's been on fire. The races that he's missed out on wins are just down to different race strategy. And he's definitely one that we'll be watching. P2, front row, 38.5. Just over a tenth behind Amadi. So Amadi setting that early pace. And it'll be interesting to see as the track temperature heats up. Drivers just gain a bit more confidence. And just improving their times. I think everyone will be trying to do 3 hot laps. Both of these are RB boys, 13th and 14th. Adamaka will be wanting a bit more out of his car as he comes around turn 15 and glides straight into the wall. Sorry, Adam, we've caught that. Someone's going to clip that up. I'm sure that's something a Wesker will clip up for you. Everyone just diving in the pits then. Your tyres will be eaten on one hot lap. You won't be able to do more than one. So it'll be interesting to see. Katami's yet to still do his own lap. And he'll be... Good evening, Raki. Big miss, Raki, tonight. The Elite Championship leader. His lead is under threat. With likes of Jack Daniels. Michael's not missing, so a big opportunity for the likes of Ted, Head and Clen to close that gap. But at the moment, AJ has got pole for the elite drivers. So we'll keep an eye on Wesker for what we'd like to say is his practice race ahead of the Div 1. Fastest first sector. Sneaky from Wesker. One, of course, quite dominant in his home race in Austria last week. Pole and race win. And just turn his car through the castle. Where we're going to see more wings than KFC. Hitting the floor. Round turn 15. Oh, just scrapes the wall. Would have cost him a bit of, maybe a tenth or so. End of sector 2. And then it's a straight run down to the line. Couple of tricky corners. It used to be really difficult on previous games, but I found as last couple that your car turns in a lot easier. Maybe it's just me and my setups were shit. Wesker crosses the line and ends in the in the pits. Katames is doing a hot lap. Is anyone ahead of him? That is on one. I'll keep an eye on Luckiest then, who's almost 2 tenths up. No, we'll jump back on Wainwright. He's going to cross the line first. He's found 4 tenths. Absolutely flying. That could put him on provisional pole, which he does. 38.2. As Luckiest is diving in the pits then, so Katames, for his first flying lap, he'll have 0-0 wings, I'm sure. And he gets himself behind his teammate P9. Brutus improves up to P4. Storming lap from the Haas boys. Pimble's cheering on Sedders. Head though. He'll be looking to improve. And he does up to P6, elite driver. With elite form at the moment. Sam's just doing his first flying lap. Who was that? Gary's up to P6 ahead of Callum. As Theo, provisional pole for the Mercedes. He's pulled that one out the bag. He's got a Mary Poppins handbag. His teammate's just starting a lap now. Let's jump on with Jax and see if he's improving. He finds some time, gets himself up to P6. And that is back on pole for the elite driver. Armide's found some time, but not enough to get himself any higher. Lennon saying Callum's under pressure, of course. He showed a clip of him crashing in the in practice. Portuguese is on an out lap. I think this is going to go down to the wires. Katames is in the pits. He's not going to improve. No, he's not going to improve. Cleanse on an out lap. Brutus has just done one. Just trying to keep track of everybody. Let's jump back on with Mr. Carrot. Charlie's cheering on Teddy. We've got an audience tonight. Everyone, if they want to stay communicating as much as possible, keeps me company and just makes me feel like I'm not talking to myself. Front row for Carrot. 59p, same as Aldi. I don't know if Wesker's feeling the pressure. It's no pressure race for him. It is a practice run, basically. Let's jump back on with AJ. He's found a nearly 3 tenths. His driver's just finding extra time. Doesn't improve on his position. So he's P11. Drax is in the pits. Callum is panicking. He's invalidated. He's got 1 run left. He's going to have to get in those pits quick. Otherwise, he's going to find himself starting in the middle of the pack, which is definitely not where he sees himself. Portuguese. He's got eyes on the prize. He needs to find about 4 tenths. Crosses the line and does. 37.8 for Portuguese. 3 whole tenths. Breathing space. Now that's a cracker. Chief of Fire's not a cracker. Tedhead's got a good pace. I'm not surprised that he pulls one out of the bag. It's Clen up to P16 ahead of Sedders. Each starting position is valuable. As we jump on with Sedders, who's down 5.5 seconds, so he's not improving then. Adam Mako's improves. Another one feeling the pressure of Baku. It's going to go down to the wire, this, and I have a feeling it's not all over yet. We're going to get somebody pull some massive truncheon and clobber someone round the face and get themselves on the top step for the start of the race. And at the moment, Portuguese And Theo will lead the way. As we've got drivers coming out for their final runs. Katames will be the first one. I don't know if Portuguese has got time for another run. I don't think he does. I think that's Portuguese done then. And he's got to have a good buffer, like I said. But I think that's him. Arakio out of there, as we'll keep an eye on Katames then. Leading the way in the Div 2. And looking to get some valuable points for the overall Haas constructors. That come out of turn 2, kisses the wall. Valuable neck lube. It's going to be a long night. Round turn 3, Alan clatters the wall again. This is definitely not going to be any quicker than his previous lap. Managed to rotate the car through turn 4. Katz is cheering on Katames, filling in for him. He's down 300, so he's not out of it. Drifts his car coming out of the chicane. Wide turn into turn 7. Mercedes gets well out of the way, out of the racing line. Managed to weave his car through the castle. And that is Portuguese done. Good traction coming out of turn 12. You climb up the hill through the double. Kinked left-handers to the tricky turn 15. Where he avoids the apex as much as possible. We'll see how he's doing at the end of sector 2. He's found a small amount of time. It's not enough to get him above AJ. I think that's Katames done. Alright, who've we got following? And that says Katames, I think, done. Wesker's on an out lap. Right, let me just rewrite myself and have a look then. Luckiest is just started. Benji, Katames is done. Have we got anyone coming down to do their final run? We don't then. Meow meow motherfucker cats. You are missed, of course. Hope you're all well. Right. Everyone that's going down the pit is starting their final lap. So let's jump on those that are working their way through. Gary Harrington. Gary! Retirement from both Claire and Benji. They can't do any more in the Williams. I'm good, Charlie. You're my premium subscriber to OnlyBans. And unfortunately, we've got to stick to the penalty system. Otherwise, there would be carnage all over the grid. But at least you get to watch some great action as Gary flies down the straight, going along the shoreline of Baku and the Caspian Sea up to P6. And that will be the highest he starts. The Alpine of luckiest. Where's he got to? He goes P7 behind Gary. These times will be flooding in. Oh, it's AJ next. AJ's P12. It's a McLaren of Callum, P5. That's a shock. I don't think anyone expected Callum to be starting P5 at the highest. But there's plenty of drivers who could potentially jump ahead of him. Jax Daniels, his teammate, crosses the line. He'll be P10. Wesker, P17. Baby, if you've got to go away. Extra drift from Amadi. Front row for Amadi. That's the best he can do. Adamako, he's managed to keep it in the white lines this time. He needs a big lap. P13 for Adamako behind his teammate. Now that is a shock. In the pits for Sammy's Carrot. And is that everyone done? I think it's just Labrat. And he's not improving. So Portuguese takes pole ahead of Amadi and Theo at Baku. And at the front is where you want to be, especially going into turn 1. And there's one or two drivers I suspect are out of order. As we're just waiting for Sam's. Lennon's expecting carnage in the race. Now, what I do expect, especially Div 1, Div 2, yeah, you've got one or two less experienced drivers, but Div 1, this is the bunch that should be very experienced in how to navigate those first couple of corners. But, of course, it is Baku. So we do expect Portuguese on pole, 37.8. Ahmadi Joan on the front row, just under 2 tenths behind. Theo and Samis Carrot on row 2 with Wainwright and Callum on row 3. Gary and Brutus 7th and 8th with Luckiest. And then Jax Daniels rounding off the top 10. Ted Head and AJ P12. Is that Jax on pole? It is. Adamako and Katami side by side. Benji Labrat, Wesker, Clen, Sedders and Chief of Fire. Just over 2 seconds in the 140s. We'll be watching with intent and potentially staying out of all the carnage at the rear. So nice bit of sunshine, nice bit of smoggy sunshine for the race. Drivers will be sorting out their strategies now and their setups. If I do understand, it's going to be potentially at least a 2-stop race if all is well. There is a 57% chance of a safety car, and more so than potentially other tracks with the tricky first couple of corners to navigate, but also just how tight the track is. Just like the tracks like Monaco, the slightest mistake, you're punished quickly and severely. And I have a feeling we will see one or two. Have a say in chat who you reckon is going to be on the podium. With Portuguese's starting position, it's his to lose. I think it's going to be the front three will be the podium sitters in that order. I'm not gonna do anything spicy. It's going to be difficult for a lot of drivers to get through that first couple of corners unscathed. Katz has been smoking some doobies. He reckons Brutus will win with Kat on the other 2 podium spots. Gooner's asking how many safety cars. I reckon there's going to be... I reckon there's only going to be one. No, there's going to be 2. There's going to be 2. I've got my Mystic Meg crystal ball out. I'm rubbing it hard, and the crystal ball. And I reckon there'll be 2. Rels is calling on 2. Rels is also calling on for some strategy tips, as you'll see Rels in the race following this at 9 PM UK. But all eyes are on Div 1 Baku. Terry Red's lover reckons no safety cars. I reckon you'll be in a safety car. Where you're starting, you're in trouble. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Something's gone wrong and it's burst my bubble. Uh-oh. Oh, that's an absolute cringe of a song. Kill me now. Right, quick neck lube as the timer counts down for the formation lap. So Portuguese will start us off for the formation lap. Now what is crucial in both this and also the out laps for qualifying is you've got to warm your tyres up. This track is very low grip, not that abrasive, so if you don't do it properly, you're going to have a difficult start. As Jax is disqualified. He's cursed himself. Lennon reckons there'll be turn 2 or 3 though, on lap 1. There'll be a big crash. He's preempting it. Baku's been with us since 2016, where it was named the European Grand Prix, and then the following year it was the inaugural Azerbaijan GP. where most notably, if anyone remembers, is where that Hamilton and Vettel engaged in that argy-bargy under the safety car. Let's hope we don't have any of that today. It's a difficult one. Once you nail your lap, it is a quite thrilling one, but it's full concentration. And you need it. Around this 6-kilometre anti-clockwise circuit, 20 corners, 12 to the left and 8 to the right, with 2 DRS zones, one down the big, long straight, where we're going to see plenty of overtakes, and then one between turns 2 and 3. As I said, there's 57% chance of a safety car, which seems quite low to me, and 43% chance of a VSC. More chance of that because cars will be more in the way if there's an accident. You don't want to be pitting more than you need to, so keep your wings intact. There is 19.7 second pit stop, including the stationary time. Portuguese all leads around with Armadi on the front row. There's a 141 metre run down from pole to turn 1 braking point. And it's the shortest on the calendar, so not long for Portuguese to defend. Theo and Sam Carrot on his debut P4. He'll be well chuffed with that, with Wainwright and Callum behind, both invalidating on their formation. Brutus, Luckiest and Jaxel too. Gary in P7. Ted Head will start P11 behind his championship rival, right ahead of him with AJ on his debut in the Elite. Everyone's in their grid slot. It's 3, 4, 5. Lights out and away we go. Get on your magic carpet because we're in the Middle East, and Portuguese and Armadi got a good start. They're looking good so far. Little jostle of wheels. There's some carbon flyover. It looks like a McLaren M plate. But they might have superseded our expectations. There's no massive movers really, thankfully. There was a bit of a lunge there. And Gary's ended up in the wall and into P20. Brutus is a big loser out as well. That all looks intact as Clen up to P12. Great start from the Ferrari. We've got a yellow flag and that's Benji out. And there's a VSC. Sounds like I'm speaking Russian. An interesting strategy. Setters starting on the softs. They will burn out in no matter of time. So potentially an early pit stop to get himself out of the train. Only 2 drivers doing the alternate strategy of Katamise and Chief of Fire, looking to go long. Now that we don't want is any damage, which I don't think at the moment they do, but Benji the only one, unfortunately, the one missing out. Everyone else starting on the medium, so everyone thinking along the same lines. Ted Head, good start from him up to P7. Is now leading the way and looking to get himself back-to-back wins for the Elite. And as you were, Callum P5 managed to get ahead of Wainwright. Now pay attention everyone, no stupid drive-throughs. It's looking like everyone's absolutely bombing it though. No, it just looks like that. Early pit stop from Callum though. Was that his end plate? Oh, it was. Oh, it's not a race for Callum today. Pit stop for Sed as well, getting off those early. And Portuguese gets that drive-through. As I've just said, you absolute drumstick. And Amadi capitalising, getting himself into the leader race, catches Portuguese napping. Theo on the inside of turn 3, follows Amadi through. And Portuguese, that's just hampered his race. May come back to him with a safety car later, potentially. Callum with that early pit stop. Jumps onto hards. Headers on hards. Gary's had to pit as well. As we see in the background, AJ in the Mercedes. Just slightly offline through the chicane, but has managed to secure P11 ahead of Clen. Wesker's following him through as well. Clen just not getting that traction he needed out of turn 6. through the castle. All looking well so far. Oh, look at that camera angle. Give that man a raise. No DRS as yet. Or is it? Portuguese, will he stay for a couple of laps, or will he just get the drive-through out of the way? If he stays out a couple of laps, it will extend the distance for a few cars behind him, so going in straight away isn't always the best option. And Theo's absolutely flying. DRS is active, so he's got his wing open. And as I suggested, Portuguese will go as long as he can. Theo on the inside of turn 1, left plenty of room by Amadi. Jax Daniels in the pit as well, so both McLarens with early pit stops. Interesting call from Jax. It doesn't look like he's got wing damage. So Theo takes the lead of the race for the first time. Amadi retakes the position. Oh, drive-through for... Oh, my Christ, Jax with a drive-through as well. You naughty boy. As Tedhead out. And it's a full safety car. Tedhead's hit the wall at turn 3. And that's no back-to-back wins then for the Visa RB. And that does not help Portuguese at all then. And that's good news for Jax. Serving that just in time. So that's safety car 1. Liverpool losing 1-0. They just can't. Oh, it's just... it's never ending, is it? So... Lost 2 drivers and we're only on lap 3. And it's so tight. Drivers going side by side. Especially through that sector 1, those tight 90-degree turns. Where you turn and trying to follow drivers as little room as possible. You've got to give him a bit more space, and potentially either that or he just missed his braking point. Who knows? Now, will we see anyone capitalise on the safety car? Well, yeah, Lennon. It's catch-22. I suppose on this track, you serve it straight away because accidents can happen. But on other ones, I'd stay out as long as possible if it was me. And it's an early pit stop then from the front 3. Portuguese changing his tyres. He will have to serve his drive-through. Oh, that was nearly so. Front 6 in. Adamako in as well. Wesker and AJ. We're going to see some double stacking as well. This is not going to be good for the drivers. Following this is everybody. So Chief of Fire. He's on fire. Gaining some places here, Chief of Fire. And if he comes out behind his teammate, he's ahead of his teammate. Katamise has gone through as well, so Katamise leads the race. Oh my Christ, yes, everyone's gone in for pits. Everyone's gone in for pits, Benedict. And now Katamise, the car that no one wants to be stuck behind, is leading the safety car restart. Oh my Christ. This race is... When someone said this race is going to be carnage, I did not expect it to be Katamise at the front of a safety car restart carnage. Big gains for Luckiest then up to P7. Callum all the way down to P14. After his restarts, Portuguese. Benedict cheering on Cat. All the cars still reasonably congested apart from Gary Hannington. Gary! So just waiting for his car to catch up. So probably do another lap after this one under the safety car. But everyone will definitely have to pit again. There's no way everyone's going to get to the end on these hards. Which will mix up the order again. That'd be interesting to see. Let's have a look if anything's been said in Discord chat. About what happened to Theo. We've got something about a Haas. Brutus, okay. It's a difficult one. Yeah, just inquiry about potential lack of braking, but it's a difficult one. You've got to find your... Okay, that's what happened to Gary then. So Brutus missed his braking point at turn 3 and hit Gary into the wall. So not ideal for Gary on his debut. Reserving for Big Racky. And I'm sure potentially you might see that in the steward's room. So has this played out to how everyone expected? Has this come as a surprise? Is there any surprises of drivers on the track? And Portuguese will have to dive in, so he's out of order, which will promote Jax, who's out of sync of everybody else on those mediums. So yeah, I've just seen it lock up, yeah, but it's one that's potentially avoidable. I'm still waiting on Gary to catch up. He's taking his sweet FA time. Good evening, Benja. Come on, Gary, catch up, my friend. Oh, he's pit again onto the hard. So Gary potentially looking to go to the end. That's why he's taking a while. Sorry, Gary. I'm dropping the shit for no reason. Katami's lead us around with Chief of Fire. Now up to P2. Got himself a couple of podiums in the Elite Championship, leading the way and looking for his first win. Can he maintain that? It's going to be difficult to keep the likes of unlucky Ted Ed. It happens, mate. Like it's rare to go through a whole season and not have races like this. Ted Head's a bit disappointed and then make a mistake, but it happens. It's like I said, the slightest mistake and it's lethal. There's no room for error. There's no grass to run off. So we are going round 4. A final lap under the safety car. Gary will rejoin at the rear, but should be able to go to the end. Like Lennon says. Yeah, on to next week, and next week's going to be an absolute cracker, which I'll promote at the end. Theo and I'm a D. Plain chicken. Sammy's Carrot maintained a decent position, P5. Wainwright's missed out, down to P9. Adam Makos was with some sweet gains, P8. I think he'll be reasonably happy with not necessarily being under a safety car, but the positions gained. And this is opens up the championship massively. At the moment, Callum leads the way. He's got a decent lead in both the Div 1 and Platinum division. And he needs to make some massive moves once we get back underway. It's not going to be easy. And you're going to have to bide your time. And especially in that middle sector too. As we've seen 1 or 2 slight incidents from one driver or another. So safety car will be in, I'm sure. It'll let us know anytime now, which it does. And I believe Katamis will hold this pack up for as long as he can. Chief of Fire warming his tyres up, which will give him a better start. So the drivers weaving, trying to get these tyres where they need them to be. You're not allowed to go alongside the car ahead of you, as there's plenty of weaving going on. Everyone just waiting, like the rest of us watching with intent. But he's not going to go until the last minute. You've got to wait for the safety car to go in the pits. You can't overtake until the timing line. When will Katames go? He's still not going. It's an absolute cluster here. And this is... I'm going to hold my breath until everyone's through the first couple of corners. Because it's not going to be pretty, I'm sure. Everyone's raring to go. And Katames has gone. Chief of Fire, I'm sure, won't hold his teammate as much as he can. And we'll try and let him through and then hold up the likes of Carrot, who goes past Theo on the inside of turn 1. Slight clatter of the wall. But it looks like he's just made it through. As we've got Jax Daniels and Adam Mako going round turn 2. Both made it through. As Carrot has got ahead of Theo. Adam Mako staying ahead of Jax Daniels. Brilliant overtake, and it looks like Wainwright's just followed Adam Mako through as well. Jack's just going slightly offline. It just hampered his exit coming through as we approach the chicane. And they're going to have to keep one eye on Wesker behind him. Chief of Fire still ahead of his teammate. Oh, locks up! Has he caused any damage to Katames? That could have been an absolute disaster. As teammates and Alpines side by side, we've got a bit of carbon fibre spraying. Hold your breath for the castle sector. Everyone goes single file, thankfully. Oh, that could have been dangerous. So Labrak Dan ahead of Luckiest. Rouse is calling Ted a bottler. He's putting some milk together, and Theo's hit the wall at turn 15. And that's lost him plenty of positions then. And near the end of the grid, so he's going to have to work his way through. And Adamako as well at turn 16. The most important corner on the track. And 2 very quick drivers. Oh, what's that Williams doing? What did that Williams just do? That wasn't pretty. I don't think Adamako will be too chuffed with that as Portuguese goes in the pits. Red Bull teammates exchanging positions, and Carrot sneaks on through on Chief of Fire. Great overtake opportunism at its finest for Carrot up to P3. Portuguese doing his drive through, and Adam having to pit. I don't think he'll be too happy. I can only imagine what his voice chat will be saying, and one of those Williams is in trouble. As we've got a yellow flag, and it looks like the Alpine are luckiest at turn 3. He's not got any wing anymore. Good thing he's not in the Red Bull. He's going to have to be pitting as well. So everyone that's on the hard tyres, they've having to pit. Looks like Adam's on double hard strategy, so that's thankfully. Terry says the steward's room is closed this week. Theo up to P11 already. The Mercedes is flying. But he's got the 2 difficult McLarens to overtake as Wainwright in the Aston Martin filling for Dabby Kim. Gets ahead of Chief of Fire, who's still leading the way for the elite drivers who can stick within DRS, which is now active. He's got a bit of breathing space behind him of Wesker, so this DRS will help massively. As the Williams exchange places, Amadi and Carrot all over the back of Katames. Now Katames, he won't be able to defend this too much. Amadi slightly boxed in as Carrot tries to do the overtake. Katames in the middle. He's filling between the bread. Carrot looks like he's got the inside of turn 1 and takes the lead of the race. Managed to rotate his car in without avoiding the wall, without hitting the wall. Oh, excuse me. Brutus up to P7. Theo side by side with Labrat Dan. And slots behind the Alpine. Slight lock up there from the left front of Theo, but we'll have DRS, and Luckiest has retired in the pits. And he's not having great fun there as Theo with the DRS up to P10. As we see Katames losing 3 positions now. Not quite giving this P3 up as yet with Wainwright. Alpine has to slot behind Glenn and Jax Daniels. Championship rivals. Glenn ahead of Jax as we jump back up to P3. inside of turn 7. Oh, someone's going to have to give. Oh, what are you doing, Katamise? Oh, Katamise lost the traction and he's damaged Wainwright's wing. The Aston Martin doing an absolutely fine job. That battling as they come adrift from the front two. As Callum managed to make an overtake ahead of AJ before turn 15. Every overtake is valuable, especially when you're stuck in a train. Working his way up now, P8. We'll jump back on the front two then. Carrots on debut, leading the Baku Grand Prix, with Ahmadi hunting him down. Not quite able to make the overtake yet, so some great straight line speed from the Sauber driver. Wainwright's in the pits as expected. Katamise carrying on. Chief 5 drifting round the corner. Managed to keep his steering straight. Wesker on the inside of oh, was that a slight clatter from the Sauber? Loses out to Brutus and Callum. Squeezed by the Red Bull driver. That's Theo getting past Wesker as well. Portuguese with DRS ahead of Sedders in the Williams. Painful for the Ferrari. And having to serve that drive-through. That was of his own error, unfortunately. And next up, his teammate to overtake, who's at the back of a train behind Katamise in P3. Ahmadi and Carrot then. As Callum. Oh, this is good. Oh! Brave from both. Callum gripping on his wheel, I'm sure. Knuckles pale. Both drivers not giving that up at all. Jack Daniels just dropping down the order and hitting the wall. Too busy dreaming about Terry's. There's Gary Harrington. Gary! You got garried. He's still running P3. It's going to be a difficult one to overtake. Chief of Fire doing a fantastic job sticking in this DRS train. 1-1 with Liverpool now. As Ferrari's exchange positions. Clem not holding up his teammate. As Ahmadi retakes the lead of the race. Theo real tight to his championship challenger. You can see how the speed that Theo's got. Callum just clattering the wall was not help his launch coming out of turn 2. Theo looking to take an opportunity on the inside turn 3, but thinks better of it. It's not the sort of race to take risks. As Adamako looking to close the gap on Wainwright, who's on the mediums. Jack Daniels coming out on those fresh rubber will take him to the end of the race. Portuguese on Labrat Dan at the end of sector 1. Portuguese is on a mission as AJ having a quick look at Wesker, but then Portuguese goes through as AJ is offline. I think AJ just not getting in his way. And next up for Portuguese is Wesker. Easy switch back, I think, here from Portuguese. Wesker Div 2 driver not impacting Portuguese's challenge for the championship, and a good thank you there from the Ferrari as he hunts down Callum and Theo, which is his real rivals. Carrot will have DRS as we come down to the end of lap 11. We're not even halfway through the race yet. Jeez, is he able to make a move at turn 1? Not quite yet, so brilliant defence from Portuguese ahead of Theo as Callum and Chief of Fire exchange positions. The Haas on the outside of McLaren. A little slight clatter of wheels and Brutus has lost out. Callum up to P4 now. Wainwright flying on those mediums. Can Brutus retake the position on Callum? Has a look on the outside of turn 3. Going to be side by side. through the tight corner, lifts each other plenty of room. Callum gets better traction and keeps P4 for now. As Chief of Fire, oh, lost of traction, almost lost his back end, managed to keep it out of the wall, but was losing plenty of positions now. Was doing a fantastic job. Lap 11 tyres now. Are they potentially getting a bit thin? Portuguese on the inside of turn 7. Oh, Brutus managing just to keep that out of the wall as well. Some great skill on show. But some very brave, risky moves from those trying to work their way back up the order. Next up for Callum and Portuguese is Katamis. Amadi just shook off Sam is carrot now. Sam is second. He's not a carrot, he's second. But he's got a good 11 seconds on Katamis. Got a yellow flag and it's Clen. Needs to revert. Oh, almost taken out Wainwright. Where's that safe re-entry, Clen? We'll have to re-enter the pits to get a fresh wing. Drivers have to have their rear view mirrors on with these run-off areas. As we see an overtake for Portuguese on Callum and Theo on Brutus. As Clen retired, he's crashed out, and that's another safety car. Wah, wah, wow. Safety car is out. Sedders is in the pits getting some fresh tyres on. This could do well for Sedders. And the likes of Adam, Katamis and Callum will love this as well. Get some fresh tyres on. Ted Head reckons Clen retired on purpose. If someone puts that into the steward's room, we'd have to look at it. Arsenal 1-0 up against Bayern. Be a good result this for Arsenal. This brings everybody back in play. Ted Head's seen it, so okay. Send it in, mate, we'll look at it. It is, of course, frowned upon to retire on track because it does just this and potentially messes with people's races and strategies. So please retire in the pits. So yeah, it should be a straightforward pit stop for D and Sam is carrot. Should be a free one. Halves the time of a regular pit stop. We're only halfway through, so I suspect we're going to see everyone pit. We'll have to. So there's going to be a mass exodus in of cars just flying everywhere. Those who got slight damage, fresh wings. Amadi leading the way, and if he doesn't pit, I'll be highly surprised. He does. It is a free pit stop for him and Carrot, so both going in. Katamis has to pit. Doing well in P3, and I think everyone behind him will be absolutely seething that he's just holding them up. Likes the Portuguese and Callum should make easy meat of the pussy. Katamis in. Looking to do a one-stop here, Katamis. I'm sure his tyres are absolutely screaming, so everybody diving in. Brutus is going to be, I think, caught up in a bit of double stacking. It's going to be a close one. Not that much damage for Brutus, but everybody is in. Only Wainwright's gone through and found himself back up the front of the order, up to P3. But his tyres, I don't think his tyres are going to be testing right to the end. Obviously, Adamaka go for fresh mediums. We won't. Adamaka staying on those hards, and we'll go to the end. Most drivers choosing to go on some fresh hards. Wainwright is going to struggle, though. Callum down to P9. Did he have to get a wing change? I think we saw him hit the wall once or twice, so found himself back in the middle of the pack and ahead of his teammate. So safety car number 2. Maybe that Div 2 race might be slightly delayed by 5 minutes, especially if we get another safety car come out. But everyone is reasonably congested up. The safety car should be in quite quickly. And Amadi will lead us this time. Katami's looking to go to the end on those mediums. Should do. But his tyre wear is going to be not helpful at all. Katami says he's lost his feedback and race engineer. That's a shame. So we all go around for another safety car lap, but we'll most likely get restarted on the next lap. 15. It is as expected. Safety cars. It's not a Baku race without a safety car. And unlike a lot of tracks, your race isn't over until the fat lady sings. And she's singing in an Aston Martin at the moment. Katu's and Theo playing chicken. Theo found himself ahead of Katu. Don't know what happened there. Katamis must have gone off track. Theo's found himself up to P4 now. Exciting. So Amadi, as he leads us round up to turn 7, will lead us away with Sam's Carrot, as I said, on debut. Filling in for Caps Lock. Having a fantastic race. Wainwright as well. A decent position, but he's out of sync on tyres and will find it quite difficult near the end of the race. But 3-3 Theo, P4, having another great race. Trying to let Katami's back through, which he does. A little nod of respect between the two. So Katami's P4, Div 2 driver. Theo P5, Portuguese P6 after that early drive through. He's found himself back into a potential podium fight. Touch wood. No track limit penalties yet. And I know it's difficult because we've got walls, but it's still quite easy to do so. Brutus Beer P7 behind his teammate Labrat Dan, doing fantastic job on his debut as well. P8 in the Alpine. McLaren side by side 9th and 10th with Chief of Fire P11. Good early stint. Can he stick with his championship challenges? He's currently running in P2. Adamako at the rear, looking for a restart. When will Amity go? Safety car is in the pits. I think I'll go similar time to Katami's. And that's him. Gone. Carrot can't overtake until the timing line. Wesker gets himself a penalty, clattering with Chief of Fire. Callum already gaining position as Portuguese past Theo at turn 1. Callum gaining 2 positions on the restart, squeezed in the other side of turn 3, side by side with Brutus, who's just got himself back ahead. Oh, little twitch from the Mercedes as Katami's up to P3 ahead of Wainwright. On those fresh mediums, lock up from Carrot. And Brutus on the runoff area of turn 3 has missed his braking point again. Sedders making moves up to P12 on Jax Daniels. This isn't Jax Daniels' track by the look of it. Theo back ahead of Callum. You shall not pass. 1-1 Arsenal Bayern. Everyone needles their way through the castle section for the 16th time this race. Amadi already broken out of that DRS range from Carrot, with Katami just falling back, and he's got an absolute cluster of cars all the way back down to Brutus. It's a Haas bookend Can anyone get past the driver on medium tyres? Should have better traction coming out the slower corners, but near the end of the race he's going to be struggling. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one or two punches as Callum trying to do a double overtake, both on Theo and Portuguese. This will be a brilliant move if he can do it, which he does. P5 for Callum. Wesker in the pit, which I assume he's got damage, and he's retired in the pits. Thanks, Wesker. And he's just saving himself now for the Div 2 race. Get some practice laps in. Gary in the Williams up to P8, past Labrat Dan. Composed himself, kept his head down. Theo on the inside of Portuguese. That's brave, locked up, but managed to turn his car in. And Portuguese stays ahead from now, but you can see the extra pace that Theo's got. This guy's absolutely flying. Is he going to look to make a move on the inside of turn 7? Portuguese can see him. They're still side by side as we approach the castle. Portuguese keeps his nose just ahead. Brilliant driving from these pair. Usually at the spearhead of the grid order. Just to find themselves a bit tricky. Midfield action at the moment. Gary on those mediums, looking to pounce with intent. And Carrot's camping as well. He's intent on trying to overtake Ahmed D. He's got back within DRS range. And should be able to make a rudimentary overtake. As he approaches turn 1. Has a look on the inside. Fastest lap for his... the speed he's shown. Gary it's overtaking Theo inside of turn 1. Oh, Theo's into the runoff area. And I don't think he'll be wanting to restart again by the looks of it. Come on, Theo. Brutus and Adamako. Platinum drivers. 13th and 14th. Jack Daniels back ahead of Sedders. He's got himself going again. Not too happy. It looked like he tried to turn in on a car and his car just bounced off. Has he got some sort of damage? Looks okay. Be hoping for a safety car. Carrot's in the lead of the race then. Now the run up to turn 3, and he's got himself ahead of DRS, ahead of Ahmadi. Damage there from Theo. Coming out of turn 4. Just struggling with his traction. His tyres will be absolutely screaming. Come on, Theo. Come on, my guy. Callum now ahead of Katamise before the DRS. Hopefully this is no DRS chicken from Katamise, because if he gets DRS, Callum will be seething. He does. Sus. Portuguese ahead of Wainwright, Labrat Dan and Gary exchanging positions. Labrat Dan up to P7. Sedders and Jack Daniels finding each other in track, and as I said earlier, limited track limits. Sedders the only one at the moment. I'm struggling to overtake Katamise. Theo working his way round. The order will have to pit to get a new wing. Will we see him pit? Tottenham leading PSG. Fuck off. No way. Taking a quick look at turn 7. Not able to make a move as yet, but you can see he's trying to make the move. Oh, did he just push Katamise into the wall? Doesn't look like there's any damage there, but whoa, loss of traction from Callum. That wouldn't have helped his attack on Katamise. Theo is in the pits. Back down to Labrat, and he's retired in the pits. Thank you, Theo. It's unfortunate, mate. He looked like he just bounced off his car. I don't think there was any... looked like a racing incident to me. Good overtake here from Labrat. Dan on the Aston Martin and Wainwright up to P6 with the aid of DRS. As Katame's looking to defend. Loses 2 positions to Callum and Portuguese, who are up to P3 and P4 respectively. Callum, Theo says, an absolute joke. Portuguese taking a quick look, having to defend on Katame's as well with his mad straight line speed. And we've seen that Portuguese has got more speed than Callum. As Gary is in the wall again at turn 3. Well, there's anything, and he's lost his wing, so he's going to have to pit. It's a VSC. Well, just send any clips in to the stewards, mate. We'll have a look at them. But from what I saw from that incident, it didn't look that bad, but it looks different on POVs. Cameras Carrot leading the way, lap 20 out of 26. He's got 2.5 seconds advantage over Amadi. Well, it isn't always. You've had some fantastic races last few weeks. Don't be disheartened by one race. It's a tricky track, always remember that. Theo just a bit frustrated, which is always the way. And no silly drive-throughs from anybody. VSC has ended. And a good start from Sam. 4.5 seconds advantage over D now. Portuguese and Katame's looking to make early moves on Callum in the McLaren of Callum McLaren. Katame's trying to follow Portuguese through, which he does. Loses down a couple of positions. Wainwright's in the pits. He's going to have to get off these mediums. As I expected, there's no way they'd last, and Gary's followed him in. What the hell did Gary do? Well, that was silly, Gary. Some fresh softs there from Wainwright, looking to get that fastest lap. To retirement for Gary, because he had no wheels left. So as we stand, we've got 13 drives out of 20 left. But it's been eventful. And it's the only way Sam can't win this is if he crashes himself, as Katame's trying to make a move on Callum. Callum making a move on Katame's and making it stick ahead of the castle. P4 for the McLaren. This battle has brought Labrat Dan up to P6 on debut. Now as we stand, Amadi will get the win for the Platinum drivers. And AJ will take the win for Elite drivers ahead of Chief of Fire and Jax Daniels. So he, out of just silently driving his own race, Mercedes driver. That's Portuguese. Oh, what's gone in too quick there, Portuguese. Now this is a surprise for the Ferrari driver. Well, he's got no wing now, so he's definitely having to change it. And that drops him out of sync. So now, look up there for Carrot Man. Amadi's got 7 seconds behind with Callum behind him. Katame's and Labrat Dan battling for that final podium position. So the front 3 for Platinum is Amadi, Callum and Brutus, currently on the podium. And AJG5 and Jax, as I said. Portuguese on those hard tyres. Again, with Wainwright just ahead of him. He's got a big gap between him and Sedders. Well, I don't know if he got it on the entry, but Portuguese pit, he had to get a fresh wing. The fact that he's on old tyres, I suspect he got that damage before pitting, but he had no wing. So down to P12 for the Ferrari. No, it was a pit. Adamako's retired, and it's another safety car. Adamako's crashed at the castle on lap 22. I bet he'll be absolutely bummed out with that. And it's a third safety car of the race. And again, this one mixed up the order. Pit from Carrot and D. Will we see everyone else? Callum pits. Katamise carries on. Katamise does Katamise. Will stay on the medium tyres till the end of the race. Chief of Fire and Jax both carry on as well. So this has mixed up the order again. I can't keep up with it. Wainwright's not long just pitted. The same as Portuguese. Will they get Sedders? Wainwright pits and Portuguese pits. So we'll go into some fresh softs. And we'll have a safety car restart with Katamise on old medium tyres at the front. Sammy's Carrot's got a buffer with Amadi. Amadi's asking how do you fix the force feedback disappearing? I've got no idea, mate. I don't have a wheel. If anyone in the chat can help. This should be a very, very short safety car. Sama says restart the game. A bit difficult mid-race. 12 drivers. Late drama, says Terry's. Lennon says pause or restart the wheel. If any times to do that is under the safety car. Jax Daniels, P5, ahead of his teammate on 12-lap-old hards. Interesting call from Jax. And it's likely he will just move aside for Callum. Safety car's going round again. Jax and Chief Fire are sitting ducks. And Katamise. I think Sam's Carrot should make an easy meet. These soft runners have only got a couple of laps. We will have 2 lap sprint after this safety car. Yeah, those in Div 2 will be slightly late. PSG 1, Tottenham 1. Yeah, it should be Carrots. You reckon Cats will cause drama? Let's keep everyone updated on Champions League then. PSG 1-0 with Tottenham. Liverpool 1-0 with PSV. Real Madrid 3-1 up against Olympiacos. Frankfurt and Atalanta 0-0 at half-time. Always the ones that let you down on your bets, your knobheads. Sporting 2-0 up against Bruges. Arsenal 1-0 with Bayern. Spicy. He'll be wider than Vanessa Feltz before the gastric band. But yeah, 10-lap-old mediums against fresh softs. Safety car will be in. We've got 12 cars with 2 laps. I think they've got a yeah, low blow. Are you on about Sheffield United? So Katamis will lead us away again. Safety car is coming in. And he'll hold up as late as possible. It's slow and steady. Slow and steady does not win the race. They're waiting and waiting. Carrot and D looking to pounce. When will Katamis go? He's going right to the line. And he's gone finally. As he's caught Sam napping. Amity already ahead of his teammate who's going to try and hold the pack behind him. Callum already on the inside on turn 2. On Chief of Fire, there's nothing Chief could do on those older tyres. All over the gearbox of the Haas on the outside leading up to turn 3. Katamis on a hard defence. But goes deep. And Sam goes through. Amity will go almost 3 wide. Amity does get past Katamis though. Callum will try and get past as Portuguese has had a moment again. Out of turn 4. The Ferrari driver's just not his day. Brutus and Wainwright. Ah, Jax Daniels with a 10-second right to the wire. Oh, for Christ's sake. Words mean nothing. Elaborate down ahead of Chief of Fire up to P6. Chief of Fire's crashed out. Coming out of turn 13. So it's going to be a shootout between Samus Carrot and Amity now. Callum's got himself ahead of Katamis. And it's a 3-car battle for the race win. Half the grid's expunged to dust. And DRS is now active for the final lap. We've finally made it. And Sam needs to save all his DRS for the final run. Oh, wheel bashing between AJ and Brutus. That's what Senna's doing on the inside of Brutus. Come on, lads. This is ridiculous now. There's going to be some harsh penalties handed out because this is not on at all. John's afraid for Div 2. As we jump back. AJ's out on the final lap. At turn 4. Sam's Carrot still leading the way. Thank God Interlagos next week's got some bloody runoff areas. You were right with the corners, yes. We still got Div 2 to do yet. Penalty for Brutus right at the end. And it looks like this race is going to be Carrot on debut. But can Callum make it a jump on Amity right to the end? It's going to be to the line. As Carrot takes win on debut at Baku. Amity takes P2. Callum comes home P3 but gets that extra valuable point. Whoa, that was tight. But Wainwright gets himself P4 at the line. Katamis P5 under. Oh God, it's all kicking off. Oh, I'm already tired. Words just can't fathom. So Sam is Carrot on his Lights Out League Racing debut. Gets himself on the top step. Callum getting the fastest lap. Seda's getting given driver of the day by the game. I'll be hard to pick a driver of the day. I'll probably just give it straight to Carrot now. Most overtakes given to Wainwright. Armady coming home P2, getting some extra points and trying to close that gap on Callum, who gets that podium place. 41.3 for his fastest lap. Wainwright coming home P4. I'm all right. I don't want to watch Spurs. Katamy's coming home P5. P6 for Labrat Dan up from P16. Contender for driver of the day. Portuguese coming home P7 and gets that final podium spot. Brutus P8. P9 for Sedders. And Jack Standers ran off the top 10. Only 10 finishers. Everyone else D and F in, which says a lot about the racing that we've had today. Yeah, two new boys today, both potential contenders for driver of the day. There was a lot going on there, a lot to unpick, which I'm sure we'll unpick in the steward's room. Next week, race 11, Interlagos, like I said. Whew, run-off areas. It's a tight track, but shouldn't have any sort of incidents like we have had. The only difference for next week is we've got a sprint race. Woo! Ric Flair. Woo! So please, if you want to see some more Baku following this, in about 5-10 minutes, we've got Div 2. I'm sure it's going to be just as much action. But if not, join us next week for Div 1. Lights Out League Racing, 7:30 next Wednesday. My name's Alex. Peace out.